Hi everyone, good morning. Is everyone able to hear me? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Is everyone able to hear me clearly? Hey Jonas, thanks for tuning in nice and early. David, hey, I'm good, I'm good. Nice to see you nice and early too. Good stuff, man. Ren, good to see you. Good evening to you. Where are you guys tuning in from? Yeah, I wonder is anyone from Australia or Asia? Now, in Singapore, it's about 4 a.m., right? So, nice and early. Sanele, nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. All right. Really good. Oh, Jamaica, nice, good stuff. Nice to see you, Dale. I think we did a last week's forecast. Did I would say pretty good, right? A lot of it went in the direction that we forecasted it to go, right? So a good amount of I would say yeah, a pretty good setups yesterday. I mean last week. Okay, we got England, North Wales, Valley of South Africa. Sophie from UK. All right, just came back from UK a month ago, so good stuff. All right, hope it's not as rainy over there now. Oh, David, yeah, LA, Sunday afternoon, perfect timing, right? I think if you are in Europe, in UK, I think South Africa too, right? Yeah, Germany, US is a perfect timing for you guys. Just before the markets open on Monday, let's jump in and take a look at what we can expect. All right, for those of you guys who are here for the first time, welcome to the weekly pre-market analysis. Right, this is where we look at some of the top setups for the week. Right, so we're looking more at the daily time frame, right? Because we're looking at what's going to happen over the next usually about 5 days. Right, so I'm going to show you what we forecasted last week, right? How it worked out. So we'll review every week, how the previous forecast actually went. So it's very fun, it's very exciting, keeps us on our toes, but also keeps it real, right? I think we are probably one of the only a pre-market analysis out there, or analysis for the matter, where we look at what was forecasted last week, right? What was forecasted previously, and we hold ourselves to the highest standard, right? So everything is pre-recorded. Everything is recorded on the webinar, right? So that's where if you go into our pre-market analysis last week, you can see all the forecasts that we did, all right? Okay, we already got requests. Hey, Yamilu, nice to see you tune in. Still warm, strange for October. Maybe it's global warming or something. All right, got Arma once again tuning in from Italy, right? All right, we got requests of gold and pound already. Okay, so let's begin today's session, guys. Remember, disclaimer, everything in this webinar is educational in nature. Nothing should be construed as investment or trading advice. So please do your own due diligence before you guys trade, all right? Now, of course, moving on to the agenda for today. If you have time, you look at the key news events. So I've kind of reversed the setups a bit, because I noticed that the technical analysis is the big request for the week, usually. And in roughly 12 and a half hours, right, we have our pre-market analysis, right? And we have our live market analysis done by either Peggy or Ketan, and they can actually give you a more technical, fundamental view on the markets. If you want, right? Me, I'm focusing a lot on the technicals across the majors, FX, commodities, and any custom requests that you guys have. So yes, that's the thing, right? Custom request. If you have a request, send it through right away. I do my best to get to them. Otherwise, sometimes we don't have time to go through all the requests. If you've attended these sessions before, we always have a lot of requests, and yes, you might not have time to go power through all of them, right? Joey, nice to see you tune in. Good morning to me, right? I think good morning to you too, right? A lot of requests for gold. For those of you guys who remember our forecast for gold last week for it to continue dropping, it worked out very nicely. I have the charts here from last week that we will really go through together. Okay. Introducing your host for today, right? Some guys might be wondering who is this guy here. But yeah, introducing your host for today. My name is Desmond Leong. I run the award-winning research firm Everest Fortune Group, also the Forex Army. For finalists for 2019, 2020, and 2021, Best FX and Best Equity Research. Work with many of the major financial institutions out there to help them forecast where the markets are heading. All right, but we have a special partnership with IC Markets where I bring you guys the good stuff, the juicy stuff, the stuff that take your trading to the next level. All right. So if you want to find me on Instagram, you can find me over at Comfy Desmond. Otherwise, the Forex Army is where I start create a couple of my indicators and guides that you can find. Okay. But without further ado, let's begin this session. Just let me tweak my settings down here so I'm not blocking too much of the chart. Okay, all right, so let's go through our forecast last week. So last week we actually there we go, right before the market opened, I'm just going to draw a horizontal line for most of it. Right before the market opened, we forecasted for price to kind of shoot up. It did shoot up all the way pretty nicely, right? The horizontal line was when the analysis was done. If you want to find it, right, for the sake of everyone, let me just send the link to you guys. Give me a second. Yeah, if you want, under a playlist, right, if you want to go and review the previous forecast, I think it's this one over here. Yep. Oops. That is me. Yeah. So we have a couple of forecasts. You can see DXY, we forecasted for the bounce to happen right before the market opened, right? And price really went all the way from 105.63 close enough to 107.71. All right. So if you want to go along, this is the link, and let me send it to you guys. This is the link that you can view. All right. Yeah, Boss John, it's going to be an exciting week ahead. All right. A lot of volatility for sure. All right. A lot of volatility for sure. And it's amazing in some sense where we managed to forecast for price to go all the way up to the first resistance before reversing. Right. So if you were in a couple of our other setups, right, Kiwi dollar, to one of those prop firm tests, right? We forecasted right before the market opened, dropped all the way down to a first support before bouncing. So when it comes to the forecasting, right? There are a few things that we can do. We forecast the entry, we can forecast the stop loss, and we can forecast the take profit. What is important is that you need to be able to a good forecast is not only the entries, also forecasting where stop loss and where your take profit is, where the key support levels, where the key pivot levels, and where's the key resistance levels, right? So in this case, you notice how price reversed all the way down to a first support before bouncing, right? Really nice forecast from there. And right, the thing about this is that take profit placement, stop loss placement, very important. Why is this so? Right? Why is this so? Imagine if you have a short position. If I had just entered my position from here, right? If my stop loss was over here, right, and my take profit was over here, I got a good risk to reward of 1.57. All right, you can see over here the risk to reward of 1.57. Notice that if my stop loss is just, I randomly place my stop loss all the way here, right? Maybe I noticed that this was a major swing high, right, over here, and I put my stop loss all the way up there. Right? My stop loss can be up here, and my risk to reward is now 0.32, meaning if I had risked $1 on this trade and I reach my take profit, I'll be only earning 30 cents, right? So what people don't realize is that the market rewards the market likes it, the market, not say likes it, but the market rewards you for being accurate, Now, accuracy is defined as your margin of error. Like how accurate you can be is how low you can keep your margin of error, right? In this case, if we forecast a move this way, right? If you forecast the move this way, I'm just going to replay into here. So we got a move here, and we are forecasting for price to drop. If we have such a wide margin of error from the first resistance and our stop loss is all the way up to here, right? That means, right, we feel very comfortable. The market can technically, right? The market can technically go all the way up, all the way up, all the way up here, and we are still not wrong, right? Because we have a very wide margin of error. We feel very confident. It makes us feel very safe. But the flip side is that in this case, your stop loss, because of the distance, your risk reward is 0.32, right? That means you're really sacrificing a lot of potential gains for the comfort of a wide stop loss. If you keep your stop loss very tight, right? If you bring it all the way down to here, notice it's 1.5. If you technically even tighten your stop loss all the way down to here, you notice that your risk reward is now 3.61, right? 3.61. The market rewards you exponentially for having a tight stop loss, right? Notice that from here to here, my stop loss amount is, as you can see, is 37.7 pips. Technically, if I increase it by another 30 pips, 40 pips, 77 or 79 is 1.72. If I just increase this by another 40 pips, right, just put it about 120, risk reward is 1.13. Another 40 pips, 160, about there, you can see a risk reward is 0.84, right? It drops and drops, but if you tighten it, right, if you tighten it all the way to like you can say about 40 pips over here, you notice that your risk reward jumps to 3.32, right? So as you tighten it, you can even technically tighten it all the way to maybe you have a margin of error of just 10 pips. You notice how it goes from risk reward of 1:1.5, right, to 14, right? So as you really go very close to having a very tight stop loss, the market rewards you with a very high risk reward. So if you're able to forecast it almost right on the dot, the reversal, right, you can have a risk reward of almost 1:14, 1:15. So as you can see here, it's not only the entry that you're picking, but the stop loss and the take profit, which is why the tighter you can call it, the tighter you can call it take profit, the more accurate you can call it take profit, the more confidently you can call it take profit, and the more confidently and tighter you can call it stop loss, right, the better your risk reward it can be, right? One of these trades, just getting one of these right, you can get the next 10 trades wrong and you still be profitable, right? So as you can see here, right, we actually, how the market actually just what happened is that the market reversed all the way and reaches a nice little take profit over here, target. So that's the concept I want to tell you. Price reversing is one thing. Price reversing from here, like we forecasted, is one thing. Coming all the way down to here is another thing, and bouncing right from the support is another thing. So it goes hand in hand, right? You don't put a take profit forecast randomly, right? You need to know why you place every single level in terms of the anatomy of a trade. Where entry, where stop loss, where take profit, it all affects the profitability and of course their trade management. Okay, so now let's go through DXY first, because that forms the basis, right? That forms the basis of a lot of analysis. We forecasted for price to rise to the top. It has reached there, and now it's our turn to see what we can expect now that price is kind of going down a bit. Okay, we previously identified a very nice little channel. As you can see, nice little bit of channels from there. Nice little bit of bullish channel and above the bullish Ichimoku cloud. So it's still above support. technically, sorry, just give me a second. Just give me a second, get some water. Technically, we are back on support over here. All right, I would say with a fair degree of confidence that we should be seeing a fair amount of support over here, right? With a potential bounce, right? Potential bounce. Wouldn't be too ambitious to play it too far, right? So this was our initial first resistance. I don't think we need to go that far, right? I think up to here for the week should be enough, right? This should be our a major first resistance. In terms of the breathing space, right? Breathing space, technically, right? You could put it all the way down here as a key second support level, but I will give this much breathing space because of the 23% retracement. Just let me highlight this area in green for you. Yeah, I'll probably give it this much breathing space because of the 23% retracement, right? So with price dropping strongly, what could potentially happen is that price goes all the way down there, right? But give it that little bit of breathing space to play a bounce up to here. This is my natural first bias when it comes to DXY. So I would usually double check it and confirm it with a by looking at the other instruments, right? Hey Marundera, nice to see you again. Yeah. Yeah, my week has been fine. Let's be looking at the markets right now. I like to look at Euro Dollar next. Euro Dollar next. I think we actually did forecast that was it dollar franc? Yeah, that for the bounce to happen last week on the 29th. So it actually did bounce quite nicely on the 29th last week, right? Bounce all the way up to the first resistance over here, right? And then reverse down. If we were to look at it as it is now, I think we're back down to a major support. Price is all the way down here. Very, very tricky. Looks a little bit like a double top kind of formation that we're seeing here. So for all you know, we could see a double top formation with price breaking down. But with what I am seeing on DXY, is still on support, right? Dollar franc still on support. A little bit risky, but I think we can play the bounce. With prices coming up once again to test this first resistance over here, right? So yeah, very nice bit of bounce. I will fine tune it one more time. Once I look at Euro Dollar, once I look at Pound Dollar, once I look at Dollar Yen, so I get the overall feel on the dollar strength. But my guess is that we should be seeing dollar strength, which means a bounce similarly on dollar franc all the way up to retest this level, right? Nice bit of bullish momentum with prices kind of inching up over a little bit of ascending support here. Yeah, this little bit of ascending support, and price is probably, yep, testing the 23% Fibonacci retracement right about over here. Okay, as you can see, my starting point of Fibonacci retracement at the low goes to the high, and I notice that price is right on the 23% retracement. It's failing to break the 23% retracement, right? So we should be able to see a bounce with a lot of I'm guessing the word is volatility, right? Fundamentally, right? People should be flocking to safe havens like the dollar, the gold, right? So I would expect a strong undercurrent of bullishness still continuing to push prices up a bit, right? So you'll notice that in the momentum, we got a fair bit of bullish momentum over there with the Ichimoku cloud. So with the ascending support, with the major 23% retracement, overlap support over here, right? We could be seeing a nice little bounce, and for prices to come back up. maybe even see a little bit of a range of prices come up and down, up and down, up and down, right? But when it comes to forecasting, when it comes to trading, right, it's all about going from one level all the way to the next level. Okay, just this simple bounce that we're looking at. Okay, just this simple bounce. You don't need to play it beyond that level, right? In fact, you just need to play it just from here to here. Okay, why I like to forecast from here to here instead of forecasting it all the way to somewhere like here, right? Fabio, nice to see you. Instead of forecasting for prices to come all the way to here, I like to give an example. I like to give an example, and that is if you were looking at the weather forecast, right, for the next week. If you look at the weather forecast and you're planning to go to the beach, right? You're planning to go to the beach, and at the end of the week, it tells you that, all right, you're planning to go to the beach in 7 days. In 7 days, it's going to rain, right? You'll be looking at it and be like, is it really going to rain? It's 7 days later, right? So it's who knows what's going to happen, okay, right? However, so your confidence is low. If you look at the weather forecast and it tells you tomorrow is going to rain, you have a little bit more confidence and say, yeah, maybe tomorrow is going to rain because the forecast is nearer, right? If you look at the weather forecast and you're going to the beach later in 1 hour, right, and it tells you that it's going to rain, you are much more likely, much more confident that the forecast is correct. That's the thing. Similarly with trading, we can forecast that the bounce can happen to here. That can be a 1 day forecast, 1 hour forecast. We can actually forecast that price and go all the way up to here. This could be a 1 month forecast, right? Or even 2 months, right? And if the forecast is too far away, there are too many things that needs to happen in between. It needs to break this level, it needs to break this level, it needs to break this level, it needs to break this level for it to reach here. And the further the forecast is, the lower your locus of control. Okay, so that's the same thing with trading. Yeah, you want to go from one level to another level, right? That is the highest degree of control that you have. Anything beyond that, right, if it needs to break beyond this level to this level, it's another story altogether. But to play within your area of control would help you have the most control over your trade management, over the targets you're getting. All right, so always play from one key support to one key resistance level. Frank could go a little lower to the next support. The next support on Frank is not as clear to me. I don't see another support level that clearly. In fact, the only support level I might argue is that it might be a 38% support, maybe all the way down to here, but that could be maybe the next key support down here. The level is really not close to me, not clear to me, right? The first support remains the key one that I'm looking at. It is also kind of aligned with dollar DXY, where it's a little bit of space brief, but then we're expecting a bounce because DXY and dollar franc are very correlated, right? If I were to superimpose the chart of each other, you notice how I'm going to zoom out, how they are very similar. One goes up, the other goes down. Just maybe I superimpose the recent charts, right? Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, right? All of them, the dollar franc and DXY are very strongly positively correlated, right? Add on an indicator like the correlation coefficient, and we look at how dollar franc actually does with DXY, right? You notice that they have a very strong, close to a full 1.0 positive correlation, right? It goes all the way back, especially since this year, rather November onwards, right? Very strong positive correlation with dollar franc. So they're moving very closely in tandem with each other, right? Moving very closely in tandem with each other, which means that if one goes down, if one is expecting this bounce, then dollar franc naturally should be or could be expecting a bounce, and that then leads us to our next call, which is euro dollar. Euro dollar, we expected price to drop. It actually dropped a bit, but it didn't work out that nicely. It didn't work out as nicely as our other calls, right? So euro dollar, not as nice. Let's look at what we can roughly expect from here. Key resistance level remains over here. Key major first resistance level. Could be seeing a bit of a bearish channel. Bearish channel, bearish Ichimoku cloud. Right, price below the first resistance, approaching probably the 23% over here. Yep, 23% retracement with our 38% retracement as the second resistance. Right, so likely potentially to reverse. I would say we could look at prices to come down to this back down to this level here, right? You could play to the recent swing low, but yeah, I think from a confidence perspective, this level should be enough, right? This area over here. Yeah, we could be seeing prices come back down, right, to the first support, right? So if prices has that little bit more breathing space, right, we could see prices come up a bit, test the 23 and come down. All right, so dollar franc might be hovering around here for a while. DXY might drop a little bit more. It does look like everyone's singing from the same book. Dollar strength, yeah, probably dollar strength. Pound dollar was quite nice. We forecasted for it to drop, right? We forecasted for it to drop over here. It dropped quite nicely and it's coming back up and it's looking like it's right about at the key resistance level again, right? I'm going to show you guys, right about here. Nike tick. Oh, good point. For those of you guys who look at trade my Fibonacci extensions, right, could be a Nike tick. I love it when someone says that. It actually bounced off the Nike tick already. All right, you notice that the 127% is over here, right? So Nike tick was over here, coming all the way down, right? It bounced off the 127 already, and it's all coming all the way back to our 100%. So yes, it has fulfilled its Nike tick. You know, if you manage to get it on the 127%, congratulations. A good amount of profit that you should be making, right? And it should be coming back up there. But once it comes back up to the 100%, this is where it tends to reverse once again. It looks like we might be seeing the same thing across the different instruments, right? Pound dollar, similarly, Nike tick, come all the way down to here. Nice bounce, right? As you can see, comes all the way up to here, comes all the way down to the 127%, right? This is my bread and butter trade. Very simple trade to play the bounce back up to the 100%, right? Taking the bounce off the 127 and playing it back up to the 100%. But it does look like, you know, we should be seeing a bit of a first resistance over there, which is also in line with the 23%. Yeah, right about there, the 23%. All right, I know you can't really see it, but yeah, 23% over there, right? So very, very nice prices rising quite nicely towards it. I don't really like the level because it's a little bit far away, but the second resistance is more towards over here, right? This would be the second resistance, and we should be playing, we could be playing, I wouldn't play the move so far down. If you're confident, you can play the support level all the way there, right? The first support level, but that would probably be my second support level, right? This down here would be my first support. Playing down to the first support would usually be enough, right? Playing down to the first support would naturally be enough. And if it breaks the first support, it can go all the way down, sure. But within your locus of control, playing from the first resistance to the first support. And for those of you guys who know how I trade, I don't use the second resistance as my own stop loss. From a personal preference point of view, if I were to take a trade from here, my stop loss is just slightly above the first resistance, right? It's never all the way at second resistance, right? So if I were to take a trade from here, my stop loss is not all the way up to here. My take profit can be all the way maybe over here, right? But my stop loss, right? My stop loss will probably be just about over here, okay? The reason for that is that you need to give your stop loss enough breathing space. You can't put it here, right? There's not enough breathing space for the trade. You can put it maybe about over here, right? My own personal preference. Again, not a trading recommendation, but naturally, when you look at the charts, you notice that there's a little bit of wicks around the key levels, right? The little bit of wicks around here, right? A little bit of wicks, as you can see, a little bit of wicks. So naturally, you want to give your trade a little bit of breathing space in case it wicks before you take the trade, right? So you put it too close, there's not enough breathing space, you get wicked out, right? And you miss that trade entirely. Yeah, so for pound dollar, what I'm looking for is probably a reversal from the first resistance back down to the first support. All right. Look at dollar yen. So dollar yen, we forecasted that price will continue to go up. I think we did forecast this intermediate support, right? Because these are the same charts from last week, right? We forecasted it here. So what was nice is that price actually spiked down, touched this support level and went up. It continues to remain as our key intermediate support, and we continue to expect dollar yen to continue to rise towards a key resistance level, key first resistance level. So no change in our dollar yen analysis, continues to be in a bullish channel, right? Bullish channel, minimally you need 1, 2, 3, 4 touches. 4 touches to the channel, right? So we got 4 touches of the channel, right? Nice parallel channel, right? 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom. Very important rule for a channel, right? And you can see that this would be the intermediate support. Price should continue to rise. This first support is a key first support level that I'm finding. We could technically put this as the first support now, right? It's not the best level, right? It's not the best level, but yeah, maybe you can either call it first support or intermediate support. But ideally, we should be looking at price to continue to strengthen towards the all-time high first resistance over here for dollar yen. Okay, all-time high, you scroll all the way back, you won't be able to find another higher level, right? You see? Okay, maybe all-time high for the next, for the past like 10 years at least, no, 20 plus years, since all the way since 1990, right? So almost 30 plus years, right? So naturally, right, very, very big level that price is being attracted to, right? And this is what we call a magnetic level. If you got such a big strong level up here, naturally prices will continue to be pulled magnetically towards it, right? So we continue to expect prices to kind of inch up towards the first resistance at 151.90. Okay, dollar CAD. The view on dollar CAD is for it to probably continue rising, right? Continue rising towards the first resistance over there. A bit hard to call. It's honestly a bit hard for me to call this move for dollar CAD, but it has broken a key overlap level. Yeah, so it's right about there. So we could be seeing a nice little push up, right? Yeah, we should be able to see a nice little push up for prices to kind of rise towards the first resistance, right? Notice how price has reacted multiple times off this first resistance level, right? Very, very nice. So ideally, could be seeing price come all the way up and rise towards the first resistance level, okay? Right. Hey Jake, nice to see you tune in, right? Before the end of the session, so a couple of minutes with me. All right, so dollar CAD doing quite nicely. Aussie dollar broke out, making a pullback. the drop is not as confident, right? Drop is not as confident as Kiwi dollar, right? So the move, if you got in a Kiwi dollar last week, right, you will made a good amount of money, right? I mean, this was the one trade for me that was a 1:4 risk reward, and helped me pass my prop firm test, right? One of the many ones I'm taking, right? So basically 8% made in one day, right? Very simple trade, playing the reversal off here, price was right at this level, drop all the way down to our target. Okay, so this week we're looking at price. We notice that price is right. I usually like to take the trade the first time it happens, right? So when I took the trade the first time over here and it went all the way down, a nice bit of take profit, right? Just to show you guys what I mean, I think played the reversal all the way down to here. The next time it happens, meaning that the next time price is actually, you know, it bounced down and it comes back up to here, I'm a little bit worried that it might not reverse as nicely, because it's like, you know, it becomes a little bit slower, right? But we are still expecting DXY strength, right? Yes, I'll check the index right after, right? A lot of good calls we made last week too on that, right? So we could be expecting a reversal on Kiwi dollar, similarly again for price to come down and test this level, kind of fluctuate around these levels, right? So ideally another reversal back down to here. Okay, this has been a very nice overlap resistance, right? Reverse, sorry, bounce, it reverse, it reverse, it reverse, it reverse multiple times. It's back up to here, and ideally we're looking for price to reverse again. Okay, so Kiwi dollar, for it to continue dropping, we did have a big request on gold, right? So for you guys, we forecasted for gold to drop all the way down to this support level. If you got in on trade, congratulations, right? Good amount of money. But now what we're looking at is this key overlap support that we're seeing on gold that stretches all the way back to here, right? Really nice support level, right? I think it also lines up with a key Fibonacci. 61%, slightly lower, right? Slightly lower from the 61%. Big projection coming all the way, very nice big 61.8 projection that comes all the way down to there. So what is likely to happen is that at the start of the day, right, we might be seeing price make a small little push down, right? Small little push down maybe to there, right? We should be able to see a nice little bounce, right? Especially with all the volatility that is happening right now, right? All the uncertainty, the war that is happening, right? There should be a flock to gold, safe haven currencies, right? A safe haven. So we should be able to see price strengthen all the way up to the first resistance there, right? Whether it can happen in the week is one thing, but we are bullish on gold because of the volatility and the risk off environment that we are in right now. Okay, so bounce on gold. Okay, a WTI oil, if you got in on the call on oil too, right, good for you. Price went all the way down and reached our target. Okay, so yeah, you know, it's good stuff, right? Why it worked out so nicely, right? Why it worked out so nicely is because very nice overlap resistance, as we highlighted. Very nice overlap resistance. Price likes to reverse from this overlap resistance, and notice that we played down to this first support. That is enough for us, right? We don't need to play it too far away. And now that it's reached its target, right, what can we do? All right, what can we do? I think we copy link over here. So this was the pre-market analysis last week.
Go up further, okay?
Yeah, sorry. So this was the example where I was explaining how how Kiwi dollar would likely kind of reverse. Timestamp is 31, right? You can see Kiwi dollar, we are forecasting a reversal from here all the way down to here. So you made a nice bit of money. I'm just trying to show you the WTI when it happened. Gold forecast for it to drop all the way down to first support last week, right? Went all the way down, touched its target, right? And it's making a small bounce, right? And we're looking at oil. Where is my oil forecast? Oh man. Okay, now we go into the indices first. Okay. Dow Jones, we are forecasting for prices to drop all the way down to the first support. Here we go. Right, you notice how price dropped all the way down to the first support, just maybe slightly above the first support. So you got in on this trade. Congratulations, good amount of money, right? But let's focus on what we can expect to this week. I noticed that price is approaching a key overlap support here, right? Key overlap support because price is bouncing, price is bouncing, price is reversing, price is bouncing all around this level over here, right? It does look like price is approaching it close enough. It is it 78.6? No, 78.6 is slightly further away. Likely we should could be expecting a little bit of a bounce here. Key resistance level about over here, right? So bounce to the first resistance level. So we could be expecting a nice little bounce to this level over here. The main key support level over here, and the other key support level maybe over here. Second support, right? So for Dow Jones, I will be looking at a bounce from the first support, the first resistance. If you got in on the trade last week, play the reversal all the way down to the first support. Congratulations, should have made a fair bit of money, right? One of the trades I really liked last week. DAX, I think the J40, right? Germany 30, Germany 40, right? We're forecasting for a drop all the way from the first resistance down to the first support, right? So if you got in the trade, nice bit of money there. So we forecasted it came all the way down to an intermediate support over here. I don't think it will go too far down, actually. Man, it's tricky. Oh, Dow jumped to 33, 600 already. Oh, did it bounce up in the pre-market analysis already? In the pre-market? Did it? DAX, I will still be looking. Thanks for sharing that, Jake. I'll check it out in a bit, right? The pre-market, right? DAX, I will still be looking to sell on strength. I will still look at the first resistance to sell from for prices to drop further. I can't confidently say price might be bouncing from here, but this really nice reversal and this really nice reversal that we had, you should be expecting price to continue to inch down towards the first support level. Okay, right? This would be the view for DAX, right? For the US 500 last week, we were forecasting. I think we were forecasting for price to drop on the US 500. Hard to say. I think we didn't really have much of a forecast last week on the index, right? It did bounce off this key support level. It did bounce off this key support level. Let me just highlight the level once again for you guys. I have a lot of Fibonacci over there. Key, I think it was this thing here, right? No, where is it? Yeah, nice bit of a bullish channel over here. So price really did bounce off our overlap support as we forecasted. I think we did highlight this level. Yeah, in the pre-market, we highlighted a support level over here. I think it was a little bit further, US 500. Yeah, probably about here. Nice bit of support. It bounced up. It's now back up to approaching our first resistance. Very nice first resistance level over here. Ah, man, it's very tricky. This would be my upside confirmation. I personally would think that we can sell from here actually. Shit. Yeah, it's very tricky. This S&P is, this overlap resistance is amazing. It's a very strong level, right? I think it's also a 38% retracement, right? We probably got 38%. There you go, an exact 38% retracement over here, right? It's probably a very nice 61.8 projection. There you go, right about over there. So very nice level. But because of the channel, it makes things very tricky, right? Personally, for me, I might even look to play the reversal down here, but you can't play the move beyond. You can't play the move beyond the channel, right? So you might not even be able to play it so far down, but it could have a short-term reversal over here. If it breaks this, what's more likely to happen is that this could be the upside confirmation. If price really breaks this level, right? It could be seeing price come all the way up to here, but maybe to here first, right? So if it breaks that, right, price comes up to here, the first resistance. Okay, but because it's such a big level, if that level is broken, naturally you can expect prices to strengthen up to the first resistance. Okay, very, very strong level. If this bounce is really as strong as it is and it breaks this level, it can rise up to the first resistance. Okay, so I'm a little bit, I think a confirmation is required for US 500. I like playing the reversal, but at the same time, there's it is against the direction of our bullish channel. Is in the direction, is against the direction of the larger trend, right? So it's always very tricky. You have very limited downside, but if it really breaks this key resistance, we should look at for it to strengthen towards the first resistance. Okay, WTI oil. I think I only cover it towards the end of the session. Was it Kenyan? Franken. I'll look at a couple of it later. But yeah, oil, we forecasted for the drop to happen, right? Price has reached its target. Price has reached its target from our forecast last week. What can we expect this week? Man. Probably to sell on the pullback, right? Probably to sell on the pullback. So I will be looking at this as the key pullback resistance level. So look to sell on pullback towards this level for price to drop further, right? Price potentially to drop all the way back down to this level over here. Yeah, probably play for price to drop all the way back down to the first support level over here, right? You could play it to here technically with this as the intermediate kind of intermediate support, but ideally for price to drop all the way down to 74.31, right? Our key resistance level remains just about, probably about here, right? This would be, or even this could be the main second resistance level. But yeah, playing the breakout, right? Price has broke the ascending support, price has broke an overlap kind of resistance over here. So you look to sell on strength for prices to drop to first support. A lot of very nice forecast here. NDX is the Kiwi index. Is that the Kiwi index you're referring to? We got Peter saying is S&P doing the double top. If anything, the double top probably already happened over here, right? Nice double top formation. Price broke out already, making a pullback, right? It could happen, yeah. It could happen that the double top naturally, right? Both tops should be roughly the same height, right? The problem with this double top is one is higher and one is lower, so it's hard to say what the target potential is, right? If it's a double top like that, the target potential of the double top is the distance of the height from here, is the distance of the height, right? In this case, you got one big high, you got one smaller high, right? So the double top potential is a little bit harder to forecast. What you need to know is it's a topish pattern, right? Meaning that very, very nice overlap resistance over here, right? Price responding multiple times to a certain level. So it's a topish pattern is what you need to know, right? What's at the same time, right? We can't just trade a double top. A lot of people miss out on the target potential of a double top because they look at it too theoretically, right? Meaning that if this is a double top, naturally price should go down to the distance of the double top. But if you look at it too theoretically and you miss out the warning signals like a very strong overlap support over here, a very strong channel support, a very strong ascending support, right, all over here, you might be holding on to your trade expecting prices to come all the way down to here. Maybe this is a double top potential, but you end up missing out because there are so many other elements preventing it from going all the way down there, right? Sorry, let me go back to US 500. So this is the thing with trades, right? A double top, a triple top, a head and shoulders, they can give you indications of the direction and the potential target, but always use that as a potential. Don't ever use that as like the exact target, because what might happen is that if you notice that, right, my double top looks like I'm going to sell from here, my stop loss is over here, and my take profit based on a 1:1, you know, maybe I need it about over here. So my stop loss is over here, right? So my for 1-to-1 risk reward is about over here, right? Instead of putting your take profit down here, right? Instead of putting your take profit down here, you notice that there's a very, very key overlap support, channel support, Fibonacci support, all the support levels over here. So instead of putting your take profit beyond that level, you know, you tweak your take profit to be slightly before it. Then you might need to tweak your stop loss, right? So that's the key thing, right? Always put your take profit, right? My personal preference, put your take profit before and put your stop loss beyond, before and beyond. Put your take profit before a key level, put your stop loss beyond a key level. That will naturally help you in a lot of your forecasts. Okay, now what is this heart? Oh, there's a heart over here. Cool. Now let's jump quickly to see if there's anything over here. Nothing much. Nothing much. Target reach, pound yen, bounce of support. I think one of the key ones that I've looked at very nicely last week, was it Cat Franc? Franc yen? No. Kiwi franc, Euro franc, or was it Euro franc? I think it was Euro franc, right? Euro franc, we're calling for the reversal to happen. It worked out very nicely, but I don't think we need to look at it now. Let me see. Franc, Kiwi dollar, right? Gold, oil. All right, I think we look at most of the instruments this week already, right? Bitcoin very nicely held below our first resistance. So if you're into crypto, right, price is still at this major first resistance level. We forecasted that price will not break past it. It still will not break past it, right? So ideally, you know, you can play a reversal from this first resistance back to a first support. Okay, I covered many of the majors today, right? We have another pre-market. We have another. Let me just ensure that you guys get a link. Playlist, you know, live market analysis on the. That'll be Keaton, yeah, Keaton over here. We got live market analysis coming up in about 12 hours. Keaton, right, really good with fundamentals. Go check it out, right? So he'll be the one covering the key fundamentals. I've covered the key technicals. If you guys, you can look at the key fundamentals, right? Yeah, be very fun, right? Give you a good balance in both the technicals and the fundamentals on what to look out for, right? So yeah, right, guys. Once again, disclaimer, everything in this webinar is educational in nature. Nothing should be construed as investment or trading advice. So please do your own due diligence before you guys trade, right? Thank you from IC Markets. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for, you know, sticking around watching this session. I really appreciate it, right? I hope you found it useful, right? As you can see, we hold ourselves to a very high level of quality, right? We look at everything that we forecast last week, the ones that worked out nicely, the ones that didn't work out nicely, and there's no running away, right? If you follow us for long enough, at least for my forecast, it's usually a 60, 70, sometimes even more, 70, 80% hit rate. And a lot of it is down to trade management. So you can get a correct forecast, but if you know how to apply proper risk management, keep your stop loss tight, right? Don't compromise on your entries, right? Naturally, profitability should be ideally should be coming away. All right, this week, the past week that has the week that's just passed, right, it hit 8% in 1 or 2 days. I think it's about 2 days, right? With almost 0% drawdown, right? And it's all down to proper risk management. Okay, and I want to encourage you guys that that can happen for you guys, but you need to have proper risk management put in place. Okay. If you found this useful, please help me leave a thumbs up, right? It really helps the YouTube algorithm be able to find these videos, and the YouTube algorithm really likes it. But yeah, thanks so much once again for tuning in, guys, right? Depending on where you are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night from me. I'm going to try to get a bit of a shut eye, a few minutes of sleep before the day starts. All right, it has been great. Thanks for tuning in, right? Really appreciate it, right? Thank you very much, guys. All right, thank you, Jake. Thank you, David. Thank you, Renata. All right, yeah, help me smash the session. Right. Good night. Yeah. Thank you, Ren. All right, always nice to see you guys. I'll see you guys next week again. Right. But yeah, stay safe, trade safe. Peace out, guys. Peace out. See you guys next week. Bye bye. All right. Thank you, Joel.